Howdy, y'all. Lee and Michelle for Resistance Chicks coming at you February 6, 2017. Did y'all see the Super Bowl yesterday? There was a commercial. There were several commercials.
This was the most controversial one. You may have heard of Lumber 84. You may have gone to its website to complete the journey. If you haven't, we wanted to bring it to you here. I guess there's a lumber company, and they wanted to take their platform and use it to promote illegal immigration. Not immigration, illegal immigration. I mean, this is blatant. It's in your face. And it's a Pennsylvania-based 84 Lumber. Continues to draw heat over its commercial that featured a Latino mother and a young daughter making the long journey from Mexico to the United States, only to be confronted by a border wall. The company, a private supplier of building materials, was being held up as a champion of lax immigration laws. But the CEO, Maggie Hardy, is a supporter of President-elect Donald Trump, and her father, who founded the company, is a former Republican politician, and that has many people now wondering what the true meaning of the ad is.
Right, there's always an underlying thing.
It was meant to call attention and to humanize this symbolic journey and show the hard work and determination that 84 Lumber has in all of its current employees, and they're looking for a new
what they're looking for in their new employees.
They say the ultimate message of what we were trying to say is this: this is America, the land of opportunity, and we want to make sure people see 84 Lumber as the company of opportunity. It was meant to be topical. It was not meant to take any political side.
I'm sorry.
She said she had a welcoming attitude towards certain immigrants, but had faith in elected officials to make the decisions to make us safe. What's interesting is that what you're going to see, we're going to play for you, is the entire commercial. And the Super Bowl ad version, Fox did not want them to have the border wall being would maybe be what Trump might have envisioned. The ad that played at the Super Bowl was just some barbed wire. Would they come, and you're supposed to go to their website and see the rest of the journey. Now, so I got to thinking about this, and I'm going to play it in a second, and I was like, dude, if everybody just keeps wanting to come here from Mexico, why don't we just make Mexico the 52nd state? Because
I love it.
First,
sure thing. Why not?
And so we don't even need a border. So then you can just kind of go back and forth. We take care of the drug cartels. We just engulf Mexico.
Yep.
Mexico becomes part of the United States, and then problem solved.
Yeah. I wonder if anybody else has come up with that idea. You're just so smart.
I know. They should pay me big money for that.
Oh my gosh, this is a very politically polarized commercial. To say that it's not is absurd. I think it's very interesting that they're using a mother and a daughter, where most illegal immigrants that are coming over are males that are coming to get jobs. Because this is to get your heartstrings.
Exactly. Moms don't usually leave with their daughters to go unless they're coming up to meet.
Right.
Because everywhere you look, you see men up here working hard. I mean, there's a reason that they say you work like a Mexican. Okay?
When we watch things, movies or whatever, they are meant to pull at your heartstrings. That's what this is designed to do.
It's a little thing.
How can you not love that adorable face?
What's interesting though is you're seeing such abject poverty. And the question would remain, why is Mexico in such poverty?
Right. Honestly, if you watch this commercial and you don't feel for these fictional characters, there's something wrong with you.
Right.
And they knew that when they were making it.
Right. But why is their life so bad where it's at right now?
Exactly.
Why? These are the questions that need to be answered. Not
Right.
they're not leaving a war-torn area. They're not refugees of like. And so here's the big bad.
Right.
Seriously.
Oh, it's really, yeah, it gets you. They did a good job for what they were trying to accomplish.
They're obviously not going to show you the terrorist trying to get over. That would be a little ugly.
Yeah.
And there's the border wall. You would think that they might have gotten a memo.
That there was going to be a wall.
Like a memo, you know, kind of word kind of travels.
I don't want a lot of you guys commenting on here saying things like, well, good for them. You know what I mean? That's what they should have run into. No, it's not that we're heartless, okay? But there is due process for the way that things should be done.
Do we let everyone in the entire world into the United States tomorrow?
Exactly.
Everyone.
Why is it that just because Mexico touches the United States, that it's any different than anybody coming in flying in or coming in via boat, you know, the way they used to come. There's processes that need to take place for you to come into America to be part of our country.
Right.
Okay, that's the way that it is. It's the way we keep our country safe. It's not because we're cold-hearted, okay? We meet Mexicans all the time that do work. I love them. They are so kind and caring. I'll say the ones that are here in Ohio are actually nicer than the ones in Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, we used to get cat calls.
It's very awful.
I'm treated like trash. Like sexual objects. The Mexicans were that way when we lived in Oklahoma.
I think they learned their lesson. I think somebody said that it was a compliment.
Right. But they're always very kind and respectful, and I have no problem. We should be the country that is open to everybody through the right channels. And I find that this is just terrible that they're using this way. So that was really...
That pulled at your heartstring just a little bit now, didn't it? But we need to put this in perspective, okay? Recognize the fact that why is there an influx of illegal immigrants? Because there are jobs that people are willing to pay people less for.
Right.
And
they're not getting minimum wage, you guys. Let's start with that. They're not paying taxes. They're not getting minimum wage. They're not being treated like a United States citizen.
And in addition to that, this California lawmaker right here, he's a state Senate leader. Half of my family are here illegally. He said California State Senate President Pro Tem Kevin De Leon of Los Angeles said Tuesday that half of his family was in the country illegally using false documents and eligible for deportation under Trump's new executive order against sanctuary jurisdictions.
Wow.
De Leon, who introduced the bill, made his remarks at a hearing in Sacramento on SB 54 to make California a sanctuary state.
Wow.
He says, I can tell you, half of my family will be eligible for deportation under President Trump's executive order because if they got a false social security card, if they got a false identification, do you realize that if I went and did that, I would be like, what is it, put in jail or something,
I'm sure,
right?
Yes.
if they got a false driver's license. If I get a false driver's license, you know what happens to a regular person? Jeez. And a false green card, anyone who has family members you know who are undocumented knows that almost everybody has secured some source of false identification. That's what you need to survive to work. They are eligible for mass deportation. Testifying before the Senate Public Safety Committee, De Leon defended the widespread practice of illegal aliens of using fraudulent documents to work and obtain taxpayer-paid benefits.
And that goes back to Leah saying that we should just engulf Mexico, as if we're going to, at least they would be paying taxes.
But then they'd all be on welfare.
Yeah, because they're so poor.
Dismissing any concerns California citizens may have about being the target of identity theft. He doesn't care. Who cares? In an interview the following day, De Leon expressed outrage that President Trump's executive order would include those who possess fraudulent documents or committed identity theft to obtain a social security number.
You guys, you cannot... There are rules and laws in place for a reason, okay? And you know what? We can make those rules and laws a little bit easier.
Wait, this guy says... First of all, I just want to make sure I understand you correctly. You don't think purchasing a phony Social Security card and number should be a deportable offense. He says, I don't think so. The vast majority of immigrants, hardworking immigrants, have done that. I can tell you have family members specifically who came here as undocumented immigrants and they did the same thing. That's what you need to do.
To survive in this economy. No, you're just leeching off of the economy.
But it's not the same as the Russian hacking, you see.
Oh my gosh. All right, so what I wanted to get to with this is, again, because we're not heartless at all, but the Mexicans have come here to the United States.
All South Americans in general, too.
They are willing to do a job that American people are not willing to do. And the reason why big corporate America and other people would like them to stay, and this is why the leftists make me angry. Because they act like they're these big
philanthropists.
They just love no. They just want their cheap
giant
food.
Corporations, because without
the Mexicans, they would actually have to hire regular Americans.
Our own food. But if you have a small farm and you're a small-time farm family,
right?
The niche is you got to go organic.
Yeah.
You got to find all these rules around the way, because if you're at a giant corporation that all the deck is stacked in your favor, you can hire illegal immigrants,
right,
put them in fields with all kinds of pesticides, all kinds of chemicals, all kinds of sprays, work them from dusk till dawn.
Right.
And
use and abuse them.
And you would never do that, Jolly Green Giant. You would never do that yourself. I believe that if you're going to hire somebody to do a job, you should be willing to do that job yourself.
If you're willing to send Mexicans or South Americans or whatever you want to call them down into these fields that are ridden with these chemicals that are probably really going to hurt them, that is why you guys want them here. We are the only people that actually care about them. You guys, there are right ways to do it, and if they come in the right ways, then they can get real jobs, and they don't have to settle. You guys want them to come here illegally, so they have to settle for jobs where they get paid pittance.
Surplus in America, all right? And the way we produce food, if you're watching Resistance Chicks and you know that GMOs, pesticides, chemicals are BAD bad. Okay, I spell it out for you. All right. So here's the thing: we need smaller farms.
Yes.
We need
down
people
with big
to be able to. You need to recognize that we need to pay people an equal pay for what the work that they're doing. And farming is the worst job on the face of the planet for being paid what you're doing. Being paid for the work that you do.
Oh, because it's such hard work, and these Mexicans are getting paid nothing.
Right.
Okay, but they have to settle for those jobs that are the hardest, the most degrading jobs, and they have to work the hardest so that they can keep these jobs.
Right.
Right, but they're getting paid the less. And so you guys just, you're these big fancy white people, all right,
that is
this bleeding heart that is so fake.
They're the true prejudiced and racist. Those liberal people are the true.
Absolutely.
They want slaves. And that's why they're willing to say they have to stay here, because they
want their slavery.
They want slavery. They are the slave owners.
We want them to be able to come here legally and get real jobs and be proud of who they are. Proud to say that they immigrated to America the right way.
Exactly.
You guys,
Exactly.
I'm telling you, this is the pot calling the kettle black, and Leah and I at Resistance Chicks, we're sick of it, and we're putting our foot down now.
I could go over and over and over about how farmers need to be paid a decent wage, and how our country was built on farmers who worked hard every day, men and women and their families and their children, and they grew crops and they sold them for a decent wage, and they didn't need Mexicans, they didn't need slave labor. And actually the South used slaves, because the way the South viewed the slaves
is the exact same way that you guys view the Mexicans.
We say you guys, we know probably
I'm sorry, many of you are actually on our
with
side.
you guys, because you know
it's easier for me to yell at the liberals in the camera than it is to talk like,
okay,
you know, I'm
Okay.
sorry.
but we know that our listeners
are not. Yes, y'all are on our side. You're saying the same thing I'm saying.
right, exactly. So
I'm hoping somehow that the liberals are watching.
exactly. So, and you know, maybe
And
you have some
learning.
people learn that we need to get back to citizen farming, small farms, smaller farms, instead of the giant corporations and shipping things from California all the way to the East Coast.
You should never do that.
If you buy locally from your local farmer, they're making pennies on a dollar.
Right.
They're just scraping by.
Right.
You know, small farms are becoming extinct, and we're trying to revive them and get them back up and running.
I really believe, and this may exist, I don't think it does, we should start some sort of sponsor program, right? Sponsor your fellow South American. That way these people can put their money where their mouth is to help them become naturalized citizens.
Right.
And let's see how many of those people, not you, will step up to the plate and be willing to, you know what, I'll take you and your, 9 kids into my family, into my house. I will sponsor you. I will give you money. I'll pay for an apartment or
immigration
something.
worked that way.
Yeah.
They had to have a sponsor, and it wasn't state government. There was no welfare and food stamps, and
Right.
they're having lots of babies. I mean, they are having lots of babies on the government dime. So.
Not the government's ours.
Well, yeah.
But our hearts actually do bleed, whereas everybody else's just bleeds money.
Right.
Okay? They just want they want slave labor. The South has always wanted slave labor, and they want to keep their slave labor. They do not care about this mom and her daughter
It's all
coming
about
over.
slave labor over and over. This is slavery. Bringing in the Mexicans, it's all about slavery, having slaves.
What you need to do is go back and watch some of the documents of just what the life is like for these illegal immigrants. Yeah. When the hard work that these young people that are not getting an education have to go out and do this hard work.
I remember watching one family, and there was two parents and 2 kids, and they go in the grocery store, and they couldn't afford to buy the fruit and vegetables
that they're picking.
They had a $1 Burger King sandwich. They're in, a lot of these meat, like Smithfield, and a lot of the pork processing, and they're not treated well. And, I remember coming back to Ohio after I was in college in Oklahoma for a while. And it was the first time I started seeing Mexicans everywhere. And we were at Kings Island, a park. And it used to be you'd see your local teenagers sweeping up the thing, and there was all these Mexicans everywhere, and they put them in the lowest job, sweeping the streets and everything like that. I was like, slavery. I mean, this mentality.
That's why the mentality of the people that want them to come here, like 84 Lumber, they just want their cheap
brown labor. The brown labor.
Don't buy into this stuff. All right, this is Leigh Michelle signing off for Resistance Chicks, where it is not a conspiracy theory if it's the truth. Don't forget to like, subscribe to Mass Faith 3 and Resistance Chicks, and leave comments because we love hearing from you guys. Good, bad, or indifference. Just try to leave the swear words out. And don't forget to find us on Facebook because we want to interact with you guys there on a daily basis. And this is Leigh and Michelle saying we love you and we love the Mexicans. We really do. It's everyone else that doesn't.
We want you to be here legally, and we don't want you to be treated like slaves.
Yes.
Or used as a political prop.
Yes.
I was cold.